3rd and goal. Mata, the play action, the rollout, open man, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Cole Douglas. And the Rangers strike first. Welcome to another season of Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, joined as always by Smithson Valley head coach Larry Hill. At our first show this season, we're coming to you from Ranger Stadium, where Smithson Valley will play its home opener this Friday against Madison. A game we'll preview coming up, but first to look back at the way the Rangers ushered in the new year. Coach Hill's 29th now at Smithson Valley, a 32-13 win over Warren in San Antonio. Coach, not a bad way to start a new year.
Well, you're always looking to go 1-0, and you know half the teams will and half the teams won't. And an explosive team like Warren had a big defensive front, and just hoping we could get our footing. And we were far from perfect, but we got the win. We're excited about it.
You look at three areas of the game that really stood out. Special teams, certainly, your ability to establish the run and offense, and the ability also to get after the opposing quarterback. Just how impressed were you in those aspects of the game?
Well, we were pleased with it. I don't know if impressed is the right word, because, there's things we must do better, but you're right. They throw the ball 60-70% of the time, so to be able to pressure the passer, particularly early in the game, we got a number of sacks and plays for losses, and I thought that may have changed their approach offensively. They needed to run the ball more and get the ball out quick, and while they had their moments doing both of those, it kind of shut off some of their down the field stuff, which was big. And kicking game was huge. We had some big returns. Our kick coverage was good. Our punting game was good. Made some real impact plays there. And then you mentioned the running the football. We had our hiccups throwing the ball a little bit, protection and throwing and catching, and had a few moments. But I really thought our run game, particularly in the second half when we wanted to try to take things over, all that contributed to a win.
You had a couple of 100-yard rushers on Friday. One of them, Travis McCracken, who is a returning running back. The other is a two-way player now for you. Malachi Lane, two-year starter at linebacker, now gets a shot at running back as well. Just how effective was he on both sides of the ball?
Well, he's a good player, as we know, and has been for a couple of years. You mentioned as a two-year starter. He's certainly one of the premier players in the area on defense, but we've known he's had ability at running back. He had some great creases the other night. The O-line was giving him, but he showed some ability to make people miss and run through a tackle. And I think having a 1-2 punch and even a 1-2-3 punch, we've got some others in the stable as well. It does a couple things. It presents the defense a little different look, different style of back. That's one thing. And then whoever's in there in the third and fourth quarter when you're trying to maybe put games away, you got fresh legs. And I think you saw Travis come back in there in the fourth quarter and really make some things happen as well.
You mentioned that things could be cleaned up a little bit in the passing game. This was the first career start for Derek Mata for you at quarterback. How do you feel as if he handled himself?
I thought he conducted himself well. Our protection structurally was not set up well, and we as coaches take blame in this case for that. We've got to do some things a little bit different there, but he made really good decisions, threw some good balls, whether we caught them or not, and managed the game well, and of course ran the ball effectively when called upon. So we were pleased. He's going to play better. Our whole team's going to play better, but we were pleased with the start.
You and I didn't get the chance to visit ahead of the game last week. So looking at the lead up to the year, how was the off-season for you? How was fall camp, especially when compared to this time a year ago?
Well, a little less chaotic, obviously. A year ago, the season hadn't started yet. We really didn't even launch until about now. So a little bit, while COVID has certainly not gone away, it's become a little bit less intrusive on our schedule, daily schedule for practice and games and meetings and that kind of thing. So, but we've had a good spring, a good summer, good fall camp. Early on, it's still moving parts and still trying to figure out just where and how everything fits. Do we need to do more of this, less of this? Do we need to move this kid to this position? We're still moving through that, but our players have been receptive. They've worked extremely hard, and tickled that they got an opening win to get us started.
Again, Smithson Valley 32-13 winners over Warren this past Friday in San Antonio. A number of big plays for the Rangers. So with that, let's take a look at this week's Plays of the Week.
Yeah, let's go take a look. Our first play of the week comes early in the ball game. We pressured the passer a good deal early and kind of changed their game plan. And we're going to feature Gavin Woods here. He's a junior defensive end. He's got a circle around him. He's at the top of the screen. You're going to watch him pressure one of 4 sacks that he had on the evening. You can see the ball comes out, and then as the ball is snapped, he's already got his foot in the door around the offensive tackle with a speed, power rush move. Then he closes in, get a little bit of pressure from the front from Malachi, and then Gavin gets him here and then kind of does the all-star wrestling toss there and gets him down. And big sack puts him behind the chains right away. Watch it from the rear. There's Gavin now from the other side. You can see him as the offense sees him coming in. They're aware of him. You can see you pointing him out. We're showing blitz. And here comes Malachi off the right side and Gavin off the left. Malachi forces him up. Gavin gets him, tosses him on the ground. And that's a big play. It puts them and makes them punt the football. Okay. Our next big play is a kicking game play. You can see we've got Warren in a punting situation. We're showing an 8-9-man pressure here. Not going to bring all 9, but trying to cause some confusion on who's blitzing and who's playing for the return. Ball comes away. We get pretty good pressure on the right side. Force the punter to kind of yank the ball to the left. And when he does, Braden Bafetus, one of our juniors, is going to receive it. You can see he's got some great blocks, keeping people away from the side of the return. And you got Doug Lance there, you got Tanner Donovan. And then there's Braden Bafetus, our junior defense, our wide receiver, who's catching the ball, and he's heading upfield before Warren can get started. Get another block there from Brock Whitaker, one more from David De Hoyos, a junior safety. Then right at the end, that's a great cut, right? It looks like he's going to go out of bounds. Braden's able to stop on a dime, spin out of there, gets one more block from Malachi Lane, takes it in the end zone. Anytime you score on special teams, you got a great opportunity to win the game. Let's look at it from our returner's point of view. You can see Warren punting right down the screen at you. Have 2 returners back there. It's Kyler Clark, number 5 on the left. The kick goes away from him. Okay, there's our 9-man look. 5 rushing, 4 dropping. Look at that blocking going on here. Braden catches the ball, but you can see we've got a lot of the Warren coverage team pinned to the left. So he's able to get started, and we got just a wall of white right there. There goes Braden to the end zone. One last block by David there, as I said, and then he makes that spin move cut that we talked about earlier, gets in the end zone. Just a tremendous big play, momentum shift, and gives us the lead early in the second quarter. Our last play of the week is an offensive play. Malachi Lane, who's a senior linebacker, 3-year starter now at linebacker, seeing some time at tailback, and we'll feature him on this play. He's going to get some good blocking, of course, but he's at tailback. Play comes in from the sideline after the cadence starts. Derek Mata, our quarterback, is getting us into the new play, and it's a run over to the left play. Gets a good block from Cole Douglas, number 40, one of our senior tight ends. And then he gets a safety hitting him low, and he's able to ricochet off there, going quite a move. When he does, then he gets one final block from Zach McDonald, our senior wide receiver, and that allows him to outrun him to the corner of the end zone. So good blocking, good run. Let's watch it from the end zone, just like this camera's doing. You see Warren's kind of late getting shifted, and we do false cadence or dummy cadence, as we said, and we get another play from the sideline. You can see Warren has a lot of defenders on the right side, so Derek's actually checking this run to the left side. Okay, a couple of blocks coming there from Nick Freeman and Logan DeRazio, a couple of senior offensive linemen sealing off the inside, and Malachi's able to hit that crease. Now it's him and the safety. Safety hits him low, but he's able to bounce off of that. Well, when he does, he goes to the corner of the end zone, as we mentioned, for the big play. And those are our plays of the week.
Again, good stuff, Coach, and congratulations on the win over Warren, but there's more work to be done starting this Friday. The Smithson Valley plays its home opener against Madison, a game we'll preview coming up in just a bit on Inside Rangers Football.
Coach, I can't believe we've been shooting these commercials for 10 years.
Man, time flies.
Indeed it does. You know, one of my favorites is when they dump that ice water on you on the sideline. That was great. I think it was the middle of November. Oh, and remember when we turned a 300-pounder loose on you and he was knocking the silly out of you? Man, I can't wait to see what we're going to do this year.
This year's my pick.
Ferris Orthodontics.
That's what I'm talking about.
Release the sharks!
It isn't Taco Tuesday without the freshest tortillas. That's why H-E-B bakes tortillas fresh in store. Your kids won't eat tacos on Tuesday, or any day, without their favorite toppings. Good thing H-E-B has it all, including guacamole made fresh in store. It's been a really long week, and it's still only Tuesday. That's why H-E-B does all the shopping for you, so you can just pick it up with free curbside. No store does more to bring the best to your door. Shop the app or online and pick up curbside, free at H-E-B.
When you've got a big day ahead, rest easy knowing that your home is protected by GVTC Connect Home Security System. The Skybell uses a high-definition camera and speakers, letting you see and chat with who's at the door. Our Total Connect 2.0 app is your home security headquarters. GVTC Connect Home. Always on, always connected, always safe.
This week in Rangers trivia. With the win last week over Warren in San Antonio, the Rangers have now won 4 straight road games. Since 2010, Smith Valley has played 56 games on the road. How many of those games have the Rangers won? Is the answer A, 45, B, 41, or C, 37? The answer is A, 45. That's right. The Rangers' record in their last 56 road games is 45-11, which is the same exact record Smith Valley has at home over their past 56 games at Ranger Stadium, where the Rangers will be this Friday for the home opener against Madison. That's right, identical 45-11 records for the Rangers both at home and on the road dating back to 2010. You add it up and that is an .804 winning percentage. Not bad, Coach.
Well, you know, coaches are never satisfied. You know, it's one of those deals where we shouldn't have lost 11 of them on the road. But it is, you know, it's something to be proud of, particularly as you know and our community knows with the strength of schedule we play, the league we play in, the non-district opponents that we seem to always have to go against. It's not easy to win. And but we need to improve. We can get that percentage up a little more.
On that note of the tough schedule, so this Friday you play your home opener against Madison, 2 teams coming off season opening wins. You, of course, beat Warren this past Friday on the road. Madison got a road win this past Thursday over Clemens and Schertz, 14-5. I'm sure by now you've had a chance to watch some of the game film there, scout Madison a little bit. But looking back at that game, what stood out?
Well, I got a chance to go to the game in person because we had a Friday game, they had a Thursday game, as you mentioned. So we drove over there, a couple of us, and watched them. And just watching it in person and then obviously reviewing it several times on film since then, just a real solid workmanlike effort against a always quality opponent, Clemens. You know, they really limited Clemens' running game. They themselves established a good running game and an effective play-action pass off of that. Played very solid, you know, on the other side of the ball as well. You know, defensively just bottled up Clemens all night, and that's a quality opponent. So, you know, when you play a team like that, you don't get to win 50-0. You're looking playing Clemens at their place as a season opener. Very impressive, very physical style of defense and offense, and of course they've got playmakers everywhere. So, you know, probably not the best scheduling move for us to schedule them as our home opener.
You know, you look at Madison's offense. They ran the football 49 times in that win over Clemens last Thursday. What does the approach have to be for you on defense when facing a team that wants to establish the run like that and play ball control?
Well, you know, you've got to put them in and get them behind the chains somehow, and that it starts with playing well on first down. The best thing they did the other night, they ran the ball well, or through their RPO or play action game, and not necessarily way down the field, but had good-sized chunks on first down, gave them very manageable second and third downs, and they threw the ball well when they wanted to. It was evident they wanted to keep the football, keep Clemens off the field, and so we've got to try to get them behind the chains. Now, I'm sure that's exactly what Clemens was trying to do too, and was unable to do it. So, but I think we've got to play well on first down, and not that they can't throw it. They certainly can and will. They've got threats, but we need to make them throw it when everybody thinks they are instead of guessing well. Again,
Madison held Clemens to a baseball score this past Thursday, 5 points at home in the opener. It's very difficult to limit anybody to that low of a point total and keep them out of the end zone in their own house. When looking back at the game, what made Madison's defense so effective?
Really just playing good, fundamental, stay in your gap, play responsibility football. They didn't do anything tricky. They didn't line up in 1,000 fronts and maybe confuse Clemens a little bit. Clemens didn't really turn the ball over and have a bunch of penalties that got them behind the chains. They just, we're going to do what we do. Yeah, Clemens doing what they did, and Madison just did it a little bit better.
You look at the history between these two, it dates back nearly 20 years. You first played Madison back in 2002. There's been 16 all-time meetings, and this is the 4th year in a row that you're facing one another in non-district play. You kind of joked about, the schedule maker, has some work to do scheduling all these tough opponents. That's you. Why keep this series going against Madison?
Well, it'll make us better. We know the league we all have to play in, and there's no sense loading up with a bunch of cream puffs early that maybe give you an overinflated sense of self-worth, how good you really are, and only to get your bubble burst when you play in District 27 6A. So we've got to play those caliber teams early to raise our level of play to have a chance to be competitive. And Madison is always that, always has been. It looks like they always will be. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but we're up to the challenge, I hope.
Again, we're doing this week's show from Ranger Stadium where the game will be on Friday. How much are you looking forward to ushering in another year at Ranger Stadium?
Well, we like playing at home. Everybody does. But, it's our fans. The place will be full. We'll have a big student section. We don't have to travel. Just the comforts of home now. That quickly goes away after they put the foot to the ball and the game gets going. It just becomes football. But we like it here. Hopefully we'll like it here this Friday night.
All right, Coach, best of luck against the Mavericks.
All right, thank you, Brant.
Well, our first episode of Inside Rangers Football is in the books here in 2021. Again, it's Smithson Valley taking on the Madison Mavericks this Friday at 7 o'clock. A game we'll have for you on the Rangers Network. For head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. We'll see you next time.